Hold on, y'all. I gotta put my glasses on. All right, welcome to the Rookie Reset. My name is Andrea Fitzgerald. I'm gonna be your host this evening. Now, you may be wondering, what the heck is a Rookie Reset? Well, friends, it would be evenings just like this, except your girl would be stressed the hell out because I could not manage my classroom. Quite frankly, I couldn't figure out this whole teaching thing. So, what we do here on the Rookie Reset to provide you as a new teacher practical tools, tips, and strategies to help you stay in the game. I am the professional learning. I am the PD that you need. My whole job is to keep new teachers from quitting. That's what I do. So, because oftentimes, check this out, new teachers quit too soon just because they are not getting the support they need. So come join us every Tuesday, somewhere between 5:15, 5:45. We be here. That's my consistency. I'll be here. But yeah, come rock with us. And if you haven't already, grab a copy of the Rookies Playbook. Go to mentalfitness.com/rookies to grab your autograph, your signed copy of this. But if you like, listen, I need this thing and I need it quick, go to Amazon. Go ahead. They ship that thing out to you in 1 or 2 days. If you just like, I need it immediately, then just head on over there. But if not, you want a signed copy, get at me. All right. So today, friends, we are going to talk about the fourth quarter. Yes, the fourth quarter. So I recall when I played basketball, you know, there was always 4 quarters to a game. And the fourth quarter was honestly, it was the hardest part of the game because you've been running, you've been doing all that, but also there's this level of pressure because you're trying to win the game. You're like, man, not only am I exhausted, but it requires it requires another level of energy. Like it requires so much more to get through the fourth quarter and finish a game strong. And I think teaching is a lot like that because the beginning of the year, you energized, you amped up. It doesn't, I mean, you still have to prepare and stuff like that, but the fourth quarter, you have already exhausted a lot of energy. You've already got through about, let's see, I can't do the math on that, but you at least at about 100 and maybe 120 days. Like you already been kind of rocking in this thing. You at least 120 days in, and it's required like a lot of energy. You engaging with kids, you learn the profession. So yeah, it can be a lot. And I know for me, the fourth quarter, especially if you teach math, science, or ELA, I would often feel like not only was I a bit more exhausted, but I also felt the pressure on me because teaching those courses, basically the success of the school is based on how your students perform. So that I just often felt a lot of pressure during that time. And it also, not only that, we would have Saturday school. I'd be staying at school. I'd be doing all kinds of things. Like it just requires so much more energy that maybe I didn't have in that moment. Like I had more the first semester, or I had more in the third quarter. But this was like you've already ran down the court about 50 times, and now you got to run a whole 40 more sprints. Like you still got more sprints to go. And you may be wondering, well, hell, I'm on the struggle bus. How am I gonna get through these next 2 months, next 2-3 months? How am I gonna do it? How am I gonna get through the fourth quarter? And I want to share with you 5 ways to do that. What I'm going to call the 5 Re's, the REs, because we re in this thing, okay? So I'm gonna share with you 5 ways to do that, okay? To get through the fourth quarter, and not that it's the only way, but listen, it's a few things to consider because this is the deal, y'all. Y'all know why we love Kobe. Y'all know why we love Michael Jordan, because they're clutch. They come through in the clutch with the three. They come through to win the game. And I want to help you do that this fourth quarter. I want to help you be clutch and finish this thing strong. But just stick with it, rookie. All right, so let's talk about it. The first one, we just came off a spring break, or either you head into spring break, and when you come off of that thing, you already know, reset that thing again. And the reset, the acronym I use for that is revisit your policies, procedures, and routines, because they be forgetting, y'all. They be forgetting when we've been out for a week. We've been revisit those things. Go ahead and set them structures tight. And secondly, just evaluate what worked, and what didn't work before you head back, so you can start thinking about the S, which is setting those new expectations. Let me make this adjustment. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that when they come back from their break. And then the next E is establishing yourself again. You know, you have to act like this is the very first day of school. Yet again, every time you come off a break, set that thing up again. And then the T, we already know. None of this works without being trustworthy and consistent. You set the tone by being consistent. So whatever those new expectations are, just be consistent with those. So just reset your class again. Just wanna, not gonna go too deep in that, but you already know that one. The next one is relationships. We know it's the foundation of all of this. But you want to continue to get to know your students, continue to learn more about them, because sometimes um just by establishing that relationship, that it students will go a lot further than maybe even what we perceive. And I'll give you a prime example. It was a student that I'm talking about. This dude slept all year. Came to my class, first period, slept. It's about, it wasn't, I don't even know if it was the fourth quarter. It was maybe like the third quarter. And so I asked him one day, I said, yo, why are you late every day? I don't get it. What's going on? Like, you late and you go to sleep. Sit in the back of class, you don't do anything. So I asked him one day and he told me, he said, yeah, I wake myself up every morning. And so I told him, like, first I thought about, like, growing up, that my mom made sure I was up and ready to go to school. And I imagine if I was 15 and nobody flipped the light on, I might not do it. Like, I listen, as a grown person, all by myself now, I sometimes I still be like, yo, I don't feel like it. You know what I mean? So it could be challenging as a 15-year-old. So I started calling him every morning, call him on the school phone. Hey, you up? You head to school? And he get up, he head to school. And it wasn't like he was perfectly at 7:15 every day, but he was there a lot sooner. I mean, not a lot sooner than he was, and he stood up. And you know what I found out about this kid? He was brilliant. He was so smart. He could do math in his head. He was like a genius with numbers. But if I just looked at what I saw in front of me and I just said, I'm giving up on this kid because he sleeps every day, so I'm not gonna make an effort to get to know him, then I probably wouldn't have figured out how brilliant he is. So relationships, even at this point, people who you may think that just they don't give a crap, if you establish a relationship, I promise you it goes a long way. You may find students may find something inside themselves just because you have invested in taking interest and believing in them. I mean, that's like a prime example of just, I literally could just been like, he don't care. But just continuing to build those relationships, continuing to take interest, is a student that I've been tutoring. And I mean, one would have thought, like, for the past 4 weeks, probably hasn't really made the effort. But you know what I did in a session? I started asking about who he is, what he cares about, and he has taken completely off, because investing is something about people being seen, heard, and understood. They will go the distance for you. And eventually that your belief will transfer into their belief, and they'll start believing that in themselves. So keep establishing those relationships, keep taking time to invest in your students and get to know them. The next one is reinvest your students in what it is that you are trying to accomplish. Um, well, let me back up. Let me back up. Let me back up to that. Well, now we roll with that. Okay, so yeah, reinvest your students. Now, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all. See, I'm all about, some people be like, you can't motivate kids with chips. You can't motivate kids with candy. Listen, I believe in it. I do. I ain't even about to sit here in front like, oh, I don't. Nah. I mean, that would be great. I would love, love, love if you just cared about my little math problems. I swear I would. But listen, I'm not. Listen, I did it because I had to get them motivated and excited about it. Because what we would do when we were getting ready for the ELC, we would have if students They did their thing on it. We had pizza parties. We we would have, like, I know, like, if they answer stuff in class, like, I would have like a bag of candy, like getting them excited and hyped up. And even like we invested them too, by they were able to track their data. They were competing against other classes. So they took, I mean, I'm talking about these kids took this, they took getting ready for the end of year test so seriously. They were so invested in it. So whatever it is, whatever it takes to get them reinvested into what it is that you selling, or whatever it is that they need to do to even like graduate and get out of class. Listen, I believe in it. I believe in it. I do. People call me crazy. They say I don't need to do. Listen, I do. Because I'd love if you cared about 2x plus 6 equals 8. I would absolutely love that, but I'm not mad if you don't. I'm not mad if you don't. But at the end of the day, the school is still going to be measured by how they perform. So, yeah, just get them reinvested. And my way was often I feel like at times I can be very motivating. So I would often reinvest my students with a speech. Hey guys, listen, I believe in you. I see that you are brilliant. I'm going to raise the bar this fourth quarter. We're going to turn it up a notch because I know how brilliant you are. We know what it is that we're trying to accomplish. Hey, look, this is what it's going to be. I need you to, I know you're brilliant. I see it in you. Can you give it back to me? So getting them excited and pumped up about what this quarter is going to be about. Because this is all we got. Like I used to have even I would count down the days until the end of year test. So they would now be like, okay, we got 20 days, we got 30 days, like whatever, like keeping it fresh on their mind and keeping them invested in what it is that we're trying to accomplish, which I think leads to the next one is reestablishing your priorities. So also you being clear on what your priorities are, because so that you can know how are you gonna move this quarter. Like I knew the fourth quarter, it was um all about for me, it was, listen, I've taught majority of the content. I've taught majority of it. All we doing now is tightening up. I got a few more a few more pieces of content. Like I knew like stats and probability. We're gonna touch on that. I'm gonna we gonna get tight with that. But at this point, is we should have gotten through the content at this point. And so all we're doing is just tightening up and cleaning up the things that we need. So I would let them know that. So I knew that for myself. I was like, okay, I really need to have a pulse on what every student in my class, what they know. Okay, this student needs help with equations. This student needs help with quadratics. I needed to know that. So I knew because of what was coming up, I really that was my priority. But I also knew I had to keep them engaged. Like I had to keep them excited. And even for your students, letting them know about, okay, these are priorities, class. Like I said, having that on the board. Okay, guys, we got 30 days, we got 20 days. Like we don't have time to play. Let's go, let's go, let's go. But just you being clear on your priorities, because that's going to set the stage for how you move, but also communicating that to your students so they can know, okay, this is what you can expect from me as we close out this year, so that so that we all on the same page about what it is that we doing. And I think the last re is to reflect. Yes. So as you are starting to wrap up the year, definitely start thinking about where it is, like what's working for you and what's not. Just start noticing. Not that you have to figure it all out, but just definitely start seeing where, when you start thinking about next year, where you want to grow. Like the one for me was, I'm not yelling next year. Like I'm not screaming at these kids to get them to do what I want to do. I'm not doing that. But I also know I did realize that something that was working was when they had something to kind of look forward to. You just coming in here and teaching these little math problems. You ain't connected to me. You don't, you're not giving me any reason to want to do it. Like, why am I going to do it? When I made it a game, like participating was a game for my students, they were like so invested. Because I think I said, whatever group gets the most points, I'm gonna get us some hot wings. And I did, you know what I mean? But just they were like super duper invested. But just reflecting, and I realized I was like, okay, I can't do hot wings because that's expensive, but I can do hot chips. I can do like, candy here and there and stuff like that. Or we can have some type of quarterly thing to keep us, really invested. So just take that time to start reflecting on what's working and what's not in your class. And even if you want to take it a step deeper, getting somebody to come in and see you teach so they can give you some feedback as well. So you can start thinking about maybe even your blind spots and stuff like that. All right. So let's just recap those 5 points. Number one, reset your classroom again, baby. Every time you come off a break, listen, we got a couple breaks coming up. We got spring break and we also got the Easter holiday. Every time, reset that class. So you can go back and listen to those 5 ways to do that. The next one is the relationship. Continue to establish those relationships. We know that if students feel seen, heard, and understood by us, they're going to go the distance. It's period. That's anybody. That's what we want above all. The next thing is reinvest your students in what it is that you all are trying to accomplish. So find some way to get them motivated and excited about doing whatever needs to be done in your class. And then also reestablishing your priorities. So you maybe adjusting like what your priorities are, like knowing this is my focus for this quarter and just focus on that, but also communicating that to your students so they can know like what the priorities are. And then the last one is just reflect what's working, what's not, and what adjustments am I going to make moving forward. And so I just want to close out with this as you think about the fourth quarter. So I was thinking about this. I was talking to my little brother the other day, and I had asked him. I said, because he makes 500 shots a day, goes outside, make 500 shots. I said, "Oh, you still making 500 shots?" He said, "No, I'm making 1,000 now." And I said, "Oh wow." I said, "Okay, listen, I only made 300. This joker's at 1,000." And so I told him, I said, and you keep on doing that. You keep on doing that, and one day, just watch. You're going to have a breakout game because you've been in the gym shooting the shots. Even though it's boring, sometimes, even though you don't like it, you're putting in the effort, you don't necessarily see it in the games. Just keep shooting the jump shots. And that's my message to you, rookie teacher, is to stick with it. Because I know right now, you are in the gym, you trying to figure it out. Like I work with this new teacher, and she sends me a text at the close of her day every day, and it's like a roller coaster. I love it though, because that's the beauty of growth. But something she said the other day, and when I text thread, I know she's like, it's still hard, but for some reason it's starting to get easier. And that's really the thing about teaching. It is being a new teacher. It is a roller coaster. It is a roller coaster. Keep shooting the jump shots. And I promise you, just like happened when anyone is putting in the work, is that after a while, you're going to have like a breakout game and it's going to start to make sense to you. My breakout game probably didn't come until maybe year 3. Year 3 is when it came for me. Because year 2 is still, I was better, but I started out strong and then it lightened up, but then I had some challenges because I had a screaming match. So year 3 was like my sweet spot because I think it was 25%, then it was 60%, and then it was consistently 70 and 80. So just stick with it. Stick with it. You got this, and just keep shooting them jumpers. So and finish this year strong. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. And as you go out this week, I want you to keep that rookie state of mind. Well, what's that, Fitz? Remember, the level up is in the losses. Problems are a privilege. And yes, you might be new to this, but I know you're true to this because you're in this moment right now. And I believe in each one of you. So get out there this week and do those rookie reset push-ups. And I'm out.